afternoon, good evening, maybe dead of night for some of you. Welcome to Imola. It's the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. I'm not going to do the full name. Oh my God, that's a mouthful. Here we run. This is Crash here. Welcome to the Race Statistics YouTube channel, Race Statistics Twitch channel, and then a couple other places where we're streaming as well. I know we're on Facebook, and I think it might be a post showing one of the feeds. But still, wherever you are watching from, welcome. Again, we are about 6 minutes ago before the race starts. Well, formation lap starts in 6 minutes. So the one thing that to be noted is that yesterday there was a issue with Colapino beyond him just crashing. He pulled out into the fast lane of the pit lane area too early and was penalized for that. Um, and that's the same thing that happened with I think one of uh, blanking on which driver it happened has happened already this season. So they while there was no advantage for doing so, um, because they pulled out before the time was confirmed for the restart, they have to give a sporting. Basically, Stewart said they have to give a sporting penalty. So Colapino has a uh, basically a one grid drop. So he's starting 16 rather than 15. So it's a flip between Loss and Colapino in this case. F1, we're about 5 minutes to go right now, and F1 TV is about to start their coverage. There we go. Looking at what you guys are saying right now in chat. I want to thank several of those who are in Twitch chat. Hi, Pharrell. Some Ackerman. Those are regulars over in Twitch chat. Pharrell's asking the two pilots, the two drivers from yesterday who crashed, they will be starting. They will be starting. Yuki Tsunoda looks like he's going to be a pit lane start. So when the formation lap starts, everyone's going to go around, and you're going to see Yuki trail behind on the chart, basically, if the map is updating at that point. Should. Right now. The other weird thing, like I wouldn't say it's weird, but one of the new things that's happening with this race is that we have a C6 compound. So that's the soft compound. That means our hard compound is a C4 and our medium is a C5. Yeah, guys, don't predict crashes. Like that's just gross. I'm gonna give you a 5 minute timeout. What we've been finding out is that the C6 is actually not that great. It's actually not as fast as the C5. It's because I think it's just not as durable. It doesn't have enough grip, I think is really what's going on. Yeah, Yuki Tsunoda is going to start a pit lane. He's P20. He's going to start in the pit lane. Bierman qualified 19. His teammate Ocon 18th. Hulkenberg 17th. Colapino got a grid place drop. He will be starting 16th. Lawson gets the benefit of that. He's going to start 15th. Bortolell starting 14th. Antonelli, disappointing, qualified 13th. Ferraris, rear Q2 both dropped out. It kicked down Q2. Leclerc 11th, and Hamilton 12th. Piagasti is going to start 10th, and then Isaac Kajai is going to be starting 9th on the grid. Stroll is 8th, starting 8th. Aston Martin's both into the top 10. Albert Allen 7th. His teammate is 6th. Sainz is 6th. Alonso is 5th. Norris is going to start 4th on the grid. Next, decided by Russell. Russell's on the preferred side on this grid, and Max finished 2nd on the front row with Oscar Piastri. And that is our grid that we're gonna looking at what you guys are saying in chat at the moment. We have a new member, John Kopelman. Welcome to the family. Again, these are the people who have joined the channel and spending a few bucks each month to support the channel. Again, Dammer Pinto, join the Race 66 family. Go Max P1. Thank you for the support for the 15 months. I'm like almost on 4 years as a member on the channel. So Polo Boo, $10 donation to the channel. Sorry, £10 donation for this great channel, the best one out there. Um, we do the best we can, and we do everything we can for you guys. And for me, my focus is on trying to give you where the action is as it's going on. Some people will call a race boring. They're not digging hard enough into the race if they think it's boring most of the time. Got several Max Verstappen fans. We got Onion Shaw. I trust Ferrari. We're about so teams are getting off the grid right now. One of the Mercedes guys is a little slow. I'm not sure what MYR, but take my large $3 whatever that currency is. I'm not sure. Thank you so much. And we have started the formation lap. Yeah, we are not looking at a potential for rain today. Yeah, we expect it to be a completely dry race. It's been dry all weekend long. We've had F2, F3, and the Porsche Super Cup. Some installed? No, no installed. Yuki is a pit lane start. So right now they're in the pit lane. They will come out to do the formation lap and come back into the pit lane. And the red road flares are out in force in the crowd already. Gotta love the Tifosis. Yeah, so we'll do a 6-stop strategy. Okay, right now, again, we're have Oscar coming around turn 16 right now. Two more corners, technically 3 more corners, and then to start finish line. Pugs now for hearts. Well, it looks like everyone's using mediums in the top 11. Hamilton's the first one to go on to an alternate strategy. Him and Antonelli on hards. Barlow Lawson and Hulkenberg back on mediums, and then Oscar on mediums, and then that leaves Hulkenberg, Bierman, and Sonoda on hards. So Oscar's in the grid area, and they're starting to line up. So Oscar's in his grid box. Max is about to get there. Guys, the race hasn't started yet. Stop asking people about boxing. How's the weather? The weather's beautiful. Track is 45 degrees here, 24 degrees. Humidity is 38, a little bit more humid than before, but ultimately, it's what we've been seeing the past 2 days in terms of temperature and weather. It's clear, beautiful blue skies. Little wisps of clouds, but nothing major. And we are now waving the green flag behind the cars. The lights, they come on. One, two, three, four, five lights. And we are now racing in Italy. Oscar's got a good jump. It's really now Verstappen and Russell second and third behind. And Max is going to make a move. He's dive bombed on Oscar and gets ahead of him. That's a dive bomb by Oscar, by Vax. He's going to take the lead on Oscar on that. Russell's coming up on him. And we've got Lando right behind him. Yeah, that's a book out of Ben Daly, Tam McMurdoch's. That's something I would see him do at the beginning of a race. He's a prominent e-racer. Does a lot in the Creator series as well. So yeah, that's something he's known for his dive bombs. And Max definitely did a dive bomb on Oscar to get ahead of him. And Max has got about a second gap on Oscar already, so he's already out of DRS zone. Russell's fallen back about another second as well. They're within that 9/10 to 1.2 tenths of each other range now. So Oscar's in, Russell's in right now. Ocon has come into the pits. What happened? Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to Ocon. Was there something? DRS isn't able to. Looking right now, they're doing a replay of how Max got ahead of Oscar. Yeah, Ocon had to pit, and I'm not sure why he had to pit. That's dropped him to last place. He's now 24 seconds behind Sonoda, 36 seconds off the pace now. That's huge. He went from a hard tire to a medium. Question is, are they going to try and run a crazy strategy where they're going to run a medium for for the most of the race? Yeah, I'm gonna. That's a. Argon took damage. Okay, looking right now. I hope suspect at some point they'll show that damage taking place on F1 TV. But anyways, we are kind of settled into the race pretty quickly right now. Isaac has lost, I think, three places. Antonelli's up one place. Hamilton's down one. Well, Kirk's up a place. So is Gasly. Again, Max and Oscar swap positions. Uh, Gasly just dropped three places, and he's gone off track. Oh, was he pushed off? Ooh, Gasly goes off track, loses three places and four places actually in that sequence. So Isaac back up into the points, 10th. Antonelli's now 11th. Right now, what exactly happened? Yeah, I think Hamilton didn't give him enough room, and he basically forced Gasly off the track. He went wide through the gravel, kicked up some dirt into the air, but lost places, came back on the track. He was trying to get around, I think, Hamilton at the time. either Hamilton, I believe it was Hamilton, but I could be wrong. Could have been Leclerc. And he basically went wide off the track. He wasn't given the room to make the pass all the way around the turn. He went off the track into the gravel pit, and that blew him down significantly. Did Ocon get a puncture? I don't know what happened to Esteban. They haven't said why he pitted. Oh, see, it's that's weird. They're listed him as being on hard tires. But did he start on medium? Oh, he started on medium tires and went to hards. My apologies, everyone. I thought it was the opposite way. This could be. People say he took damage. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's one of those. They're doing like an extreme overcut with a essentially doing a one-stop strategy by getting onto the hards right away. We'll see how this goes. Four wide at a moment at that race start. Things settled in, and they're showing the restart with Max getting ahead of Oscar. Russell tried to pull. Russell was just slightly ahead of Max for a moment there, behind Oscar, and then Max did a daring dive bomb on the inside of Oscar. Yeah, it would be around, I think around turn two into three. He took the advantage of the inside. Uh, yeah, don't worry about the bots. We're getting them as fast as we can. So the race has kind of settled down at the moment. Right now, we got Max is not as one, Oscar in second, Russell in P3, Norris P4, Alonso P5, Sainz Albon P6, P7, Stroll P8. With the exception of Max and Oscar, no changes up in the top eight. Leclerc is up two, Isaac is down one, Antonelli's up two. He's scratching at points at the moment. Hamilton is in where he started. Bartolo is up one. Gasly has lost four places after a bad try attempt to pass one of one of the Ferraris. It is a big DRS train right now, and I know Science is leading that train right now. Alonso's broken it. It could reform with Norris being the leader. Yeah, it just did. So Norris is technically the lead of this DRS train right now. Again, where we've got not many places where passing is possible, but at least they are packed up there, and it's from Norris all the way down to Hamilton right now. Burtell is clearly 2 seconds off. Gasly's behind him. Then it's another 2 seconds for Lawson, Hulkenberg, then a small DRS train at the back, and then we've got Ocon 20 seconds off, but he's in clean air, so he's gonna get. Yeah, he's already taken back 4 seconds off for that pit stop. Noted that Gasly on lap three went off track at. Oh, okay, that's what they're noting on the is the incident where turn 10. Yeah, that's where Ocon went off track into the gravel. So that's what we're noting with the race controls. Right now we've got Clerk chasing Stroll for ninth position right now. Stroll started sorry, for eighth position, I'd say. Clark is in ninth, Stroll's in eighth. Um, Stroll started in eighth. Alonso's teammate Alonso started fifth. So right now, Aston Martin is ahead of the Ferraris on track. So is the Williams, sixth and seventh, Sainz and Albon. Norris is chasing Russell right now. He's about six tenths, half a second behind Russell right now. Filipino went off track for a moment. I'm not sure if he went fully off track, but his back wheels were off track into the gravel. So lost a little bit of time there, but didn't lose his position. Actually, on the gamer and late, what happened? Anyone tell you? Well, you missed a dive bomb by Max. Brutal, and here comes Norris on Russell right now. Yeah, Max did a dive bomb on Oscar to get the lead, and here comes Norris. He's front wheels was side by side of the back wheels of Russell. He's backed off again. Trying to see what right now. Again, the race has kind of settled down into where it is right now. The only pace of action right now is Oscar. I'm sorry, Norris on Russell at the moment. So he's backed off. Um, he's about six tenths behind, five to six tenths behind Russell right now. So it's be another few seconds before he makes another attempt on him. And then we've got Alonso now leading a DRS train going back down to Hamilton. Gasly is pitting. That's 9 laps on those medium tires, so he's gonna particularly gonna go to potentially a hard tire. Gasly went off track, so those tires were kind of roasted already. Ocon's gonna get what position ahead of him, and as predicted, it's gonna be a hard tire on that Alpine. Looking right now. Yeah, Alonso's gotten back in range of he's really he's 6 tenths behind. So with that fighting with Norris and Russell, that allowed Alonso to get back in the range. He's clear within DRS range of Norris again. A little bit of bounce in the in Oscar, not Oscar's on Lando's McLaren at the start finish line, and they're fighting right now. Lando is popping out. He's front wheel. Now just made the pass on Russell. And that was around turns. Five and six. So it's very much kind of what Max did, but with a lot more room. And with Norris past Russell, he's already broken DRS on him. Almost. He's getting away right now. He's like 8 tenths away right now. Yeah, so Lando was played Russell really well. He basically went one side to the other, did a switcheroo on him, and then went on the inside, got to the outside, and that allowed him to make the pass cleanly. and keep it. Antonelli's moved up to 10th right now, so he's in points. So Russell and Science, they again, they started on Russell started on a used medium. Science is on was on a clean medium. So they're pitting right now. So they're not expecting that the C5 mediums going that much longer, and they're going to the C4 hards. Russell was a 2.4 stop. Here is Science 3.4. Ooh, that's a long stop. Not disastrous, but not great. That's a full second off. So we're starting to see some of the pit order happen right now. Right now we've again Alonso and Stroll are on used mediums. Everyone else in the top six are on mediums, except for again clean new mediums. So 11 laps on Max, Oscar, Norris, and Albon. Isaac is also on a fresh medium. Antilles is on an alternate strategy, and so is Hamilton. So they are on 11 laps on a new hard. So the C4 going on right here. Clerk has pitted for a hard tire. So here comes Alonso into the pits. Borrell's coming into the pits right now. Take a look right now. Alonso was a 2.6 stop, and Borrello, are they going to tell us what his time was? And stop time was 3.4 for Borrello. That's not very good. Anything above 3 seconds is not a good stop per se. It's not disastrous. It's just not a good stop. Yeah, Leclerc right now is leading those. So of those who have pitted, Leclerc has basically is the leader of that group that has pitted right now. But he's still 36 seconds off the pace, and we're looking at like about 20, 21 seconds in the pit. Well, Yuki's 12th because he hasn't pitted yet. So there's two groups that we're looking at right now: people who have not pitted and people who are pitting. Oscar right now is going to be the first in the top two pit. Oscar coming in. Looks 3.6. That was slow. Oscar not having a great pit, but not a disaster. That's still not good. That's an advantage to Max right now. So Oscar's now the leader of the group that has pitted. So we've got two groups right now. Everything from 12 below where Oscar is. That's where who's pitted is leading. Alonso just dropped 2 spots in that group. Here comes Alonso did not have a good stop. Oh, Alonso's brakes are on fire. Oh, Alonso comes out and his wheel ducts are little flames. Alonso has dropped more than expected right now. So again, right now Oscar is leading that group. He's 31 seconds off. Here comes Stroll. He's coming in the pits. Alonso cooking. Yeah, exactly. Literally cooking. Stroll gets slow. 3.6. We're getting a lot of slow pit stops. That was a 3.6 pit stop for Stroll. He comes out ahead of Lawson's P17. Again, everyone from Oscar below have pitted. Everything from Sonoda up have not pitted. So we've got Max and Norris right now, 14 laps on medium. That includes Albin and Isaac. So they're all pushing those mediums a bit further. Again, those mediums are what we would normally think of as our C5s, soft compounds. What happened to Alonso? He had a slow pit stop, and when he came out, there were flames coming out of his tires. See how that affects the car going further into the race. Again, we're on lap 16 of 63. We're expecting, we are expecting a second pit stop in this race. That's why they have C3, C4, I mean C5s, C6, and C4s as the tires. They will degrade much more, and that forces the teams to have to pit a second time to keep the tires fresh. And Borrello just passed Ocon on track. Here comes Lawson. He gets past Borrello. No expect. I think fire. Yeah, that's not expected on these cars, and not from that area. I'm looking at Hamilton right now. He's right now 6th, though he is in that group that hasn't pitted. And he's also on the alternate strategy, starting with hard tires. So they will go at least. I'm expecting those hard tires to go minimum 4 to 9 laps before they start pitting. We got a $2 super chat for Andrew Dimas. Welcome back, Franco. Please do well, and he's given us the Argentinian flag. Russell's falling behind Clerk right now. Where is? Yeah, the gap to Russell to Leclerc right now is 3.0. Now 4 seconds. So he is falling back. So that definitely there is an advantage here for Leclerc having pitted so soon. Oscar's all over Yuki right now. That's not a good sign. And Oscar's on the inside of Yuki. He's getting ahead of him. I think he's made the pass. And yes, he's made that pass cleanly. So Oscar is in that group that has pitted, has passed the first car in the group that hasn't pitted. And that's not a good sign for Yuki. And then we've got Leclerc 2.3 seconds behind the Noda right now. So Leclerc is also advancing on him. He just pitted. This is just not. We've got two groups that's formed right now. We've got people who have pitted and who haven't pitted, and right now we've got Oscar creaking into the group that hasn't pitted yet, and Leclerc is going to be the next group. So again, Max, Norris, not again. This is again pit order, pit shenanigans have come into play already. Max has not pitted. and so is Norris, Albin, Isaac, Antonelli. Basically, P1 through P9 right now haven't pitted, and Yuki P11 have not pitted. And Behrman just got passed by Oscar right now. So Oscar is advancing right now. So the gap between Oscar to Max right now is 32 seconds. And Oscar right now is about a second, just over a second to Colpino. Why is the clerk so fast? It's Ferrari race pace. This is actually Ferrari doing a good job with their race pace right now. 32.715 is the gap from Oscar to Verstappen. So that's the thing that we need to keep an eye on when Max goes into the pits. How long that's going to be. And since I last mentioned it, Oscar is now point 0.4 behind Colapino, and he's got better tires right now. 5 laps on a hard versus 19 on those mediums. So there's a huge advantage, and Oscar is going to make a pass on Colapino. Just past the start line. He fully makes that overpass by turn 2 into turn 3. So Oscar right now P8 has advanced past 3 people who have not pitted yet. No, he pitted on with 13 laps to go on the medium. You're reading the chart wrong. I did earlier. So he's done 6 laps on the hard, 13 on his previous medium tires. Again, we are on lap 20 of 60, now 21 now, actually, 63. 43 laps to go. Again, you're listening to the Race Statistics channel. And our coverage of the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. And this is Grash with you live doing coverage. Right now, we've got Oscar charging through the field. And that's where our action is really right now, is him charging through the field. He pitted for hards 6 laps ago, and he's passed 4 people. Is it 4 people? 3 people who have not pitted yet. About half of the field has pitted, half have not. We're right now seeing the top 4. That's Verstappen, Norris, Albin, Isaac, going long on medium tires. And Leclerc just passed Sonoda, so Leclerc is now getting through that group that Oscar's just passed. With Colpino pass, Oscar is 1.5 seconds away from Hulkenberg, who's on 20 laps on a hard tire so far. So we've got 4 people, 20 laps on medium, and then a group of 3, 20 laps on a hard. And then we've got Oscars charging through the field at the moment. He didn't pit that early. I mean, remember these mediums are equivalent to what we would normally think as a soft tire. The C5s. These are the C5s. So 13 laps is about where you would expect. Is one of the strategies on the early side. Again, we're seeing Verstappen, Norris, Albin, Isaac all pushing those medium tires way past than where Oscar is. So it's definitely a game of pit strategy at the moment we're looking at. Yeah, Russell has dropped back 41 seconds is the gap. Leclerc is 47. Oscar just passed Hulkenberg, so Oscar's now P7. Gap is 33 seconds to Max. And it's going to be about 5.5 seconds to Hamilton. So Oscar's now passing people who are on the hard strategy who haven't hit it yet. Yeah, I would actually say that Oscar's actually lost a little bit of time to Max. He was about 31 seconds was the gap. It's now 33. So basically, it's more the other people on track are going slower than Oscar. And again, Oscar has the tire advantage here. He's done 8 laps on the hards, and they've done 21. And we've already gotten a second off of that gap between Oscar to Hamilton. Yeah, Oscar's flying, and Leclerc is also flying as well. He's just further back. Leclerc just passed Colpino. Colpino's now coming into the pits. He did 22 laps on that medium tire. And Leclerc is now past Bierman. So Leclerc 9th, Bierman 10th. It's a good question why Hamilton's not passing Antonelli. That's a good question why he's not trying to push his advantage. I mean, they've got the same tires as he's got the same tires as Antonelli, but not Isaac. Yeah, I don't know why he's not trying to pass Antonelli, or if he's just trying to stay in a groove. They're both doing about 22. They just did 122.4 lap times. Oscar's doing a 120.9, so it's literally he's doing a second and a half better on each lap. As I say that, the gap to Hamilton is 3.2. I've noticed that Oscar typically, when he goes onto a new tire, typically pushes the advantage of that new tire. So this is in MO what Oscar's doing. Russell Ryan is 12th. He is within DRS range of Sonoda right now. You also have to account for the fact that the McLaren's tire brakes, tire setup runs cooler than everyone else. That was investigated after the Miami Grand Prix. So there's nothing illegal going on with those tires. It's just how they've set them up is just different from everyone else. The suspect what they're doing is using what's called a phase change material. Basically, when you go from like if you take ice and you get it from ice to water, you have to put a lot of energy into that to make that process to happen. And so they found a material that can take a lot of energy, and because it's taking that energy, it maintains a temperature better than others, and that's what's keeping the tires cooler. And it's not a simple process. I mean, even me trying to explain it to you is I'm glossing over a lot of details, and it's a little like pH level analysis detailed work that we're talking here. We've got, I believe this is, I think I'm looking at Hamilton on Antonelli. Yeah, there we are. Hamilton right now stalking Antonelli. He's gotten closer. Oscar's gotten much closer to Hamilton though. Now that gap is now dropped to within DRS range. That's why we're looking at Hamilton's because Oscar's behind him. Max doesn't need to pit. He's doing a 121.3 lap. That was his last lap. Norris did a 121.2. About a tenth difference between those two. Albin's doing 121. Isaac is doing a 122. Oscar getting close on Hamilton. And Oscar's gone 11 laps on those hard, so that's less of an advantage than you'd have, but still an tire advantage over Hamilton's 25 laps on those hards. So again, those hard tires that we're using right now, we would typically think of medium tires at other tracks. Here we go. There's Oscar making a clean pass by Hamilton. Hamilton not making much of a defense. I think that's more due to the tires he's got. So now that Hamilton's passed, Oscar's passed Hamilton, he's now on the back foot of Antonelli right away. Will be probably by the end of this lap where Oscar's going to probably make his move on Antonelli and get past him. Again, the gap to Max is only 32. Now 33 seconds. It's about 33 seconds behind Max. Max is yet to pit, so that's been constant. I want to put a pin on something right there. That gap has been constant. So Oscar's passing these other drivers, but the gap to Max hasn't changed very much. And that's the thing that, yeah, we're really looking at all these passes, but that core feature, where the race is, has not changed. And Antonelli, here we go. No, Oscar going on the outside and getting past Antonelli. And Leclerc has passed Hulkenberg. So he's passed Behrman. So I did not see when Leclerc passed Tsunoda, Behrman, or Hulkenberg. Russell has passed Tsunoda. So we've got several of people who are leading in that we've pitted already strategies, having passed people who have not pitted yet. Again, these are all the people who are on a hard strategy. So that was like Tsunoda, Behrman, Hulkenberg, Hamilton, Antonelli. These are all the people who are on hard strategies. We've gotten the top of the people who have pitted, getting past them. Now Oscar is now within DRS range of Isaac. And he's the last one in the top 4 who are on the medium, go long on the medium strategy. Oscar's 8/10 was 8/10 faster than Isaac in the last lap. So we could see him gain, if that's going to hold. And he's got DRS he's also got DRS on him. Oh, he's actually closer than expected. They just started a new lap. We're on lap 28 and there goes Oscar, just past Isaac. So Oscar now P5. Sorry, P4. Isaac P5. And then the gap to Albon is 7.2 seconds. So it would be a couple laps before Oscar gets to him. It could also that Albon might pit. Well, it's potential that Albon could pit, and that would then see track position. Again, the gap from Oscar to Max is 32 seconds. McLaren apparently calling in Lando to box, and he is pitting. He's going to go to a hard tire. I did see that right away when they were setting up. So Lando going to a new hard tire. That was a clean pit stop. 2.1 seconds for Norris. That's a very good pit stop for Norris. Yellow flag right now. Ocon has stopped on track. Take a look at what happened. Oh, and that's going to be disastrous for Norris to having pit just before that happened. Ocon has stopped on grass. This one did not have a good. Stop the car. We have an issue. So he's being told to stop the car. So this is going to bring out the virtual safety car. Probably, they'll probably bring out the safety car, given where he's at. So basically, pit stops under VSC is going to be 18 seconds. So that's going to be the advantage that Max will get. So Max is in the pits. I expect Albon to come to the pits. I expect Isaac to come to the pits. Oh, that's heartbreaking for Norris. He's going to drop back behind Hamilton and Leclerc. They haven't pitted yet, but still, he's going to lose about like 9, 10 seconds. Here come Albon's coming in the pits. His gap to Max was 35. Um, Oscar might get ahead of Albon, but Albon's going to get track position. Here comes Isaac. Here comes Antonelli. Here comes Hamilton. Again, they're all pitting now. Virtual safety art has been deployed. The reason again, Ocon has stopped on track. Well, not on track. He's on off the track in grass area, so they've got to get his car off the track. There's been something something has gone wrong with his car, and he was told to basically stop the car and pull it over and stop it as soon as possible. That's a good point. John Slayer saying, depending on the racing car, this may compress the grid. Is Red Bull Race faster this weekend, or is this pit why Oscar's behind? It's Oscar's behind because he pitted earlier, and he had about 33 seconds gap. So the gap to Max should be about 21 seconds. That's Max must have pitted faster than expected. Yeah, I expect the grid to should compress. I'm surprised to see that Oscar. So we got Oscar just ahead of Norris, and then there's a huge gap to Max, and that really is more of a where Max is. He was 35 seconds ahead of Oscar. Albon, another big benefit. He's only 30 seconds behind Max now. Gap to Norris is only 9 seconds. Isaac is 11 seconds behind Albon. Antonelli's within DRS range of Isaac, so there's a point of play there. Hamilton, Alonso, Stroll, and what's going on? Oh, Oscar's pitting again. That's interesting. So they're going with a two-stop strategy with Oscar. What tire did they put on him? I think they put him on a hard. I think that was not expected. They pitted Oscar again. They're going to drop it to fourth, and he's going to go on to a used hard. Wow. Yes, are you kidding me? No, yeah, no. S Ocon stopped on the grass, so it looks like they've got his car off the track now, and we're now back to green racing. DRS is enabled now. That usually takes a lap before they re-enable it. No, they've sent Oscar onto a set of mediums. I think they're going with a three-stop strategy. Uh, ooh, Russell had to lock his brakes before hitting. I think. Ooh, crazy pit stops. Keep crying, Papaya fans. Why are they crying? They're second and fourth. They just pitted, so they could. Oh, are they doing onto another medium? Are they doing a three-stop strategy with Oscar for some reason? Weird. It's weird. They brought him in after only 17 laps on a hard. I think they think that Oscar can maybe make a charge. We'll keep an eye on lap times with Oscar. Uh, Again, we just came out of the VSC, so last lap times are not that relevant at the moment. Oscar does have clean air ahead of him. Albin is quite a way, and they're bringing Beerman in now in the pits. Why now? That's Haas. Why did you do that? Lando on new hards, 4 laps on those hards. Now no green. He's got the fastest second sector right now. Fastest third sector is in Leclerc's hands. He's gone. He's also pitted again for new hards. Oh, several people pitted multiple times, and that's Leclerc's going to pass Alonso on track. Russell's passing Hulkenberg. He also pitted again. This might be a 3-stop strategy with some of these teams. Yeah, I mean they've gone to Antonelli Hamilton have gone to hards. Sorry, to mediums. They started on hards, 29 laps on the hards. I don't know. Given how they went like 29, 28 laps on the mediums, I'm expecting a one-stop strategy with Max, Norris, and Albin, uh, and then with Oscar doing a show of how science got past Sonoda. No, that's Yuki. He's trying to get past, and he's complaining of how Yuki touched him again like he did previously. Let's see if there's a Sonoda noted. Yeah, it is involving cars. Sonoda and Sainz noted causing a collision. We'll see what the stewards have to say on that. What does it say? Oscar's on old hard. Apparently, he's gone on to hard tires. You called me delusional when I said you said double podium, not single podium. I think you did say a Williams on the podium, and then I mocked. I said you were delusional, and then said you were gonna go a double podium. But anyways, no, I mean like it's in the cards right now. If Albin can keep keep the pace and keep distance, so right now we're looking at lap times in the 120s. With the exception of Oscar, he just did the fastest lap with 119.769. So that is a second faster than Albin, 0.3 faster than his teammates, and a half a second faster than Max. So the gap right now, Norris to Max, is 18 seconds. So we've got lots of clean air in the top 5. We got Hamilton now taking the fastest lap. He's making a charge on Isaac. Russell passing Stroll for 10th. Alonso would be the next person that Russell could potentially pass. He has a tire advantage, so that should happen. He's already on the back of Alonso. The gap between Max and Lando should be bigger than 18 seconds. What happened? No, it should be smaller. And then what happens basically that Max pitted under the virtual safety car and Norris didn't. That gap could be much smaller had Lando not pitted when he did. What about Oscar? What happened? He pitted much earlier, and the gap between him and Max didn't change. It was about 31, 32 seconds. And now he's actually making a charger on Max. That gap is now 31 seconds, 30.5 seconds. So that's about a second and a half change since we last noted. Hamilton has just passed Isaac on track. Going around the outside. Everyone going around the outside. Through that chicane. Yeah, that's the... It's going into turn 5, turn 6 is where he made that pass. And a lot of people are making that pass there today so far. Hamilton right now is the fastest lap. You bet on Oscar. That's why I'm asking. Ooh, oh, why do you bet on these things, people? Come on, betting is for dummies. Come on, I'm a game developer. I know rules in games. I know the house always wins. That's why I don't like going casinos, because I go look around and I can see the games in their components. Having said that, we're getting a replay of Russell making his pass. He did on the inside that time. Yeah, here in the United States, gambling is in a new renaissance because they delegalized some of the laws that prevented gambling. Here is who we're looking at. I think that's Leclerc behind. Yeah, it's Leclerc and Antonelli for P7 right now, and Leclerc is 3/10 behind him at the moment. So, team congratulating Hamilton getting to P5. He noted that he had to use tires to get past those two. So those two being Antonelli and Isaac. Hamilton's not crying. He's just doing his job. That's a fair assessment on Hamilton that he had to use tires to get past those two. So Oscar did a 119.5 lap time. That's a tenth faster than his teammate and 2/10 faster than Max. And then, but that's almost it's a second and a tenth faster than Albon. Here comes Leclerc passing Antonelli. And that was a very clean pass, and Antonelli just did not make much of a defense. That's strange. Antonelli should have been made a defense on him. After that, now Leclerc has now got the fastest first sector, 2 seconds faster than Antonelli actually. Hamilton is doing a 121.2 lap time. That was his last lap. It's more than a second and a half, almost 2 seconds behind Oscar's lap time. So he's not making a gap to Oscar at all. Again, the gap right now to Oscar to Max right now is 3.1. And the gap to Albon is now under a second. So he's got DRS range to him. They've just started a new lap. This is now lap 39. We've got 25 laps to go. Again, we're about 2/3 through this race right now. You are listening to the Race Statistics channel, a family of channels. We're on YouTube, we're on Twitch, we are on other platforms as well. I want to thank those who've shown up wherever you are watching. Dozens and dozens on Twitch and thousands of you on YouTube. And this is one of the kicks getting around an Aston Martin. That would be Hulkenberg passing Alonso. That drops Alonso out of the points. Stroll is also out of the points at 14. And it could be more. Isn't involving Alonso noted yellow flag incident? That's going to be worse. Comes Yuki. Yuki's 13th right now, and he's passing Stroll. Okay, so this is Yuki's pass going. So this is after the start finish line. So this is getting close to turn 2 where Yuki passed Stroll to get 13th. Yuki doing a 121, Sainz doing a 120.2, and then Alonso doing 120.8. So Sainz and Tsunoda are doing half a second faster than Alonso. Clerk Sainz has just passed Alonso for 11th. So this is kind of a disappointing weekend for Aston Martin. They started in points. They were looking good, and they've been their race pace has dropped them out of the points. A good recovery drive for Tsunoda so far. He's 13th. He has potential to get past Alonso. It's right now 1.2 behind Alonso. Alonso's fallen out of DRS range of Sainz. Sainz is getting into DRS range of Hulkenberg. That would be for 10th place and into points for Sainz. That would be a good place for. That would be a good recovery for Sainz. They also another team started in points, but Albon has moved up. He's up 2 positions. Sainz is down 6 currently right now. Another team with just kind of a disappointing position at the moment. Leclerc just passed Isaac for 6. Clean pass. We're just seeing these clean passes through those chicanes. Mixed bag for Mercedes. Again, we've got Russell down 6 places, but we got Antonelli up 6 places. Both of them are in the points right now, 8th and 9th. That's a few handful of points. Good drive for Antonelli, not a great drive for Russell right now. Isaac up 2 places. He started 9th. That's actually a very good place for him. He has been, again, after Antonelli, he's been the second best rookie right now. So there was an incident with Albon yellow flag infringement. They're not going to investigate that any further. Norris has got the fastest third sector right now. It's a 26.533 in that sector, which is about a half second faster than Oscar, Albon, Hamilton. Hamilton is actually more. It's almost a whole second with him. Looking at what you guys are saying in chat right now. Albon's being sandwiched by Ferrari and McLaren. That is true, but that's a big sandwich that we're talking about. Hamilton is 8.4 seconds off of Albon, and Albon's only 2.2 seconds off of Oscar. Oscar's got 14 seconds to reach to his teammate. He's got 2 laps advantage on him and a 1 lap advantage on Max. Gap again is only 32 seconds. It's just not. It's not moving, and that's the big one. That, like, is he getting closer to Max? No. Is he getting closer to teammate? Sorta. It could be very much. This could be with 21 laps to go. We're gonna need something to shake things up. Max is 1, Norris is 2nd, Oscar's 3rd, and the gaps right now are really big. Albon is 4th. Albon, if he made a push, could he get onto Oscar? Again, we've got Ferrari 5th and 6th, which is an improvement. It's about 5 places improvement for Leclerc and 7 places improvement for Hamilton. So it's a decent improvement for Ferrari. But then, we're talking 5th and 6th versus McLaren in 2nd and 3rd and Max in 1st. So it's a huge difference in terms of points. Is Mac going to pit again? And that's a good question. He may not. That he could go another 20 laps on the. Again, he went 29 laps on the medium. And this is the C4, so he could go longer on them. So they could be going for a one stop strategy. And we just had Alpine call for a position swap between Gasly and Colapino. So Team Horner is with Alpine right now. And Gasly's thanking for the switch between those two. Ultimately, that is, they think Gasly's got better race pace and has the ability to catch up to Stroll and Alonso better than. It doesn't do anything in terms of points. Joel, what are the highlights? The big highlights so far was on lap one. Max did a dive bomb on Oscar to take the lead, and then Oscar tried to do a undercut, and that didn't really do much. He basically he's been about 33, 31 seconds back since that point. Norris pitted, and then we had a virtual safety car, and so that unfortunately has dropped him back. Like half, there's like an 18-second gap from him to Max right now. Half of that is based on the fact that he pitted under green instead of the virtual safety car. Albon right now is the big beneficiary of that safety car. He's now in fourth, so Oscar's has gotten past him, and then Ferrari has gotten past other people to get fifth and sixth. Russell has had not a great race. He's dropped back 6 places. His teammate has dropped up 6. That puts him 8th and 9th respectively. They're both double points for the McLaren for Mercedes, but it's 8th and 9th, so it's low points. The other one is that Isaac Hazard has moved up 2 positions. So he started in the points. He's been staying in the points. He's been up higher. He's been passed by Ferrari, but he's actually doing a decent job where he is right now. Like his last lap was a 120.699, and Antonelli did a 120.832. So he's got two tenths of a bonus on him. Gap between him is 2.5 seconds. So he's keeping ahead of Antonelli right now. Sainz has dropped 4 places, so he's still in the points. So that keeps Williams in double points right now, I think. And then here goes Russell passing Antonelli. I think Russell will be moving faster. Definitely has been a trend of all the experienced drivers, and we have Antonelli has an issue. So this is going to bring out the yellow. All right, so Antonelli's going to be a DNF. This is going to be a DNF for Antonelli. That's unfortunate. So Antonelli, where is he on track? He is after turn 7, just before turn 8. He is pulled off the track. Ferrari setting up pit crew? No, that was just them playing that they might pit. So this is actually bringing out a safety car. Yeah. So when Ocon went off track, he went pretty far off track, and that only brought out the virtual safety car. In this case, they're bringing out the full safety car because he's only a couple meters, like maybe 5-6 meters off track at most. Not very far off track. So for that reason they've decided to go with a safety car instead of just the virtual safety car. So that is unfortunate. Antonelli has dropped out. He was doing well until that moment where he had an issue, and is now stopped and is going to stop. Who is Max pitting right now? So they've gone 11 laps on those hard tires. It looks like he had a good stop as well. Norris is coming into the pits. Oh, that looks slow. Oh, that's disastrous. A 4.4 stop. That's not going to help. Oscar might actually. Yeah, Oscar's going to get ahead of. Oh my God, Oscar's going to get ahead of Norris, just based on the stop time alone. He was probably going to be ahead of Norris. Norris is managing to get ahead of Albon. Hamilton's coming in for a pit stop. And he's going to hard tires. And Isaac coming into the pits right now. That's going to promote Russell to P6 on track position alone. And Isaac has a 2.6 up, which is actually pretty good. It's not an average, not great, but it's not horribly bad. Not the 4.4 second that that Norris just has. My apologies. So we're seeing another round of stops in the moment. And Antonelli is okay. I mean, his car, he basically was told to pull the car over and stop the car. Alonso coming into the pits. 3.1 for Alonso, and then Stroll doing a double stack. 4.1 for Stroll. That's horrible. Filipino, 3.2. Not great. It's a slow pit for him. Morello in the pits. 2.3, which is a good pit stop. I'm seeing a large variety on, and Colpino was 31 seconds while in the pits. So that's low, but not crazily slow. Where is Max? Max has passed, has passed Behrman, so Behrman's actually a lap down. That's going to let Oscar, this safety car is actually going to be a beneficiary to Oscar. They've decided to not pit Oscar, and that's going to give him time. That has actually moved the gap from what was 31 seconds now down to 2.1 seconds. It could be actually much less as they get closer together. The big issue right now is that Max, the order on track is Max, Behrman, Oscar, and I would think they would tell Behrman to unlap himself. I would think at some point just before they go green again, they would give Behrman the opportunity to pass Max and pass the safety car and get ahead to unlap himself. And that would then remove him as an impediment to Oscar getting up on Max. And we'll see again a replay of Lando's pit stop. Not showing why that was slow. No, the safety car didn't ruin Max's huge gap. Part of that huge gap was that he pitted and Oscar didn't. They've got Oscar, and again, he's on 18 laps on those hard tires, and they think they could potentially 15 laps ago. He could go the distance on those 18 with those hard tires. They're expecting, and they're still working to get. This is going to be a long safety car. They just got the crane to Antonelli's car. I would expect that they would have gotten to him sooner. Oh my God. So they just got the crane to Antonelli's car. They're putting the strap on the halo. Norris is going to benefit from this because he's gapped. He's now behind his teammate by not that much. I suspect they might tell. I think Papaya rules will come into play here. I think that we will see tell Oscar to let Norris get ahead because of the tire advantage. I don't think Oscar will like that, but that's the truth. I think that we might see Papaya rules here. Leclerc is fourth by virtue by not pitting. He's also 19 laps on those hard tires. So that's and again, he could potentially go the distance on those hard tires. I think that's what the strategy is with both Leclerc and Albon. I'm sorry, Leclerc and Oscar. Albon did pit. Russell did not pit. Hamilton did pit, Sainz did not pit. So we've got interesting alternating strategies with the teams here. People pitting, not pitting. Of note right now, Yuki Tsunoda's in 11th position. He's up 9 spots. He was a pit lane start. He could easily get past Hulkenberg. He should get past Hulkenberg to get into the points. That would be a big deal if he does get into the points. And then it's a question of how high can he get up into the points after that. He would have Isaac and Sainz to deal with after that, after those two. When will the safety car get out? We don't know just yet. They've taken a long time to get to Antonelli's car. So it could be another 2-3 laps minimum before we see that safety car end. Again, this is just a long sequence right now. You know, okay, so Norris is saying the uncomfortable thing out loud. He knows that his tires are much older than his because he didn't pit. So he's trying to make the case to his team that he should be able to pass him quickly without fighting. Otherwise, they'll go what they say go. He said it would go backwards. Basically, that they would lose time fighting. So he's asking for papaya rules right now so he can get ahead of his teammates because of the tire advantage. So that we shall see. We are on lap 50 of 63. There's 14 laps to go in this race. Again, we're on a safety car because they're retrieving Antonelli's car from the track, and they've been out there for quite a while. They haven't gotten an update of where the car is, of how fast they're moving the crane. Again, the other thing that I'm looking for right now is a command from race. Oh my God, they're just rolling the car behind the wall right now. So it's still not off track. So we've still got maybe 2 laps. Why is Behrman unlapping? Because they haven't given the command to do so just yet. I suspect that they would give him the command, but that has not happened yet because they haven't. The track is not green. It's not in a safe condition for him to do so. So the crane is still on track. It's coming off. They're still pulling his. Man, this is really slow. Again, why hasn't Behrman not going to unlap? It's not that he won't unlap himself. The command to do so hasn't been given yet, and there's still a crane on track. So we're still waiting for that to get off. I think the car is behind the wall. So now we're looking right now. It's now clear in that track sector. Let's see if they should give Bierman the command to unlap. So we're looking at another lap, maybe 2 with the safety car. This has been a very long safety car. So again, places to look at right now. Snowden is 11th. He's Hulkenberg is 10th. That's a point that I'm going to keep an eye on because it would be a big deal if Snowden passes Hulkenberg into the points. lap car may now overtake the safety car. So now the car 87. So now they've given Bierman the order to unlap himself. So Max should give him at some point, let him get around, and that just happened. So Bierman has gotten ahead of the safety car and is getting. He's at turn 7 right now, and the safety car is a few seconds behind him. So he's now getting some speed to get away from the safety car. So the question is, so right now, safety car is at the end of sector 1. He's in sector 2 now. So the question of now how, so Oscar's now within DRS range of Max, and Norris is 1.2. All right, so they're bunched up with a second with each other now. Leclerc was in a second and a tenth of Norris. Albon and Diaz range. So this is going to be an interesting restart when things happen. Again, one of the things we will also expect is that if cooler heads are prevailing, Oscar's going to let Norris get ahead of him as fast as possible because of the tire advantage. Safety car is still out. They haven't called it in yet. It's going to come across the start-finish line. So they did have the call for lap cars to overtake the safety car. Bierman is about a sector ahead now. What is safety car doing? Doing what it's supposed to right now. What we're waiting right now is for safety cars now ending this lap now. So this will be lap 53. They will start lap 54. There'll be 10 left to go with when the safety car comes in. So again, you're listening to the Race Statistics channels. Again, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitch, we're on like Facebook with showing one of our, I think either Twitch or the YouTube stream. Again, this is Crash. We just had a safety car. Antonelli pulled off to the side of the track. A very long safety car. Very long safety car period. It took a while. It took like 3-4 laps for them to get to get the train to the crane to Antonelli's car, and it took a while to get off track. Bierman has been lapped. He is about he's about 10 seconds behind Bortolello. He probably will catch up to the back end of Bortolello. Safety car is coming in this lap. So Max is packing everyone up. He's gone slow after turn 14, for turn 15, and then that straight to 16. So they've gone very slow through that last sector. But Bierman has now caught up to the back end of Bortolello, and they're coming around turn 17 to 18. So safety car is in. Track is green. It's just a matter of when Max is going to make his jump. And the moment he does that, expect Lando to jump past. He should go past by Oscar. So we are pretty much within DRS zone of everyone. Track is green. And Max makes the jump on that last turn. And off they go. Max gets a good jump on Oscar. He comes to the start-finish line. Oscar's got a decent pace ahead of Lando. Leclerc is very close. He's going to trying to make a move on Lando. So Lando's fighting with Leclerc, P3, P4 back there. So that's not going to. Oscar's going to might use that as an excuse not to let Lando pass because it's too much of a jump now. and we have restarted, and they have. It's been a clean restart for most parts. The biggest thing is that Leclerc has been pushing on him. Albon's pushing on Leclerc now, tried to make it a pass, could not make it stick. And then we've got Russell and Hamilton fighting behind them. So we got groups of little fights going on back and forth at the moment. And Sonoda has passed Hulkenberg. He's in the points. So Pyros did not happen. Yeah, Matt, the pass Norris to Oscar didn't happen because I mean they didn't fight. I mean, let's look at it right now. Norris is only point 0.7 behind Oscar right now. Leclerc has fallen back 1.3, and Oscar's about a second behind Max. So they've spread out in the top five. They've spread out about a second. Albon is only point 0.6 behind Leclerc at the moment. DRS is enabled now. We've got 9 laps to go in this race. They should have let Norris pass. They couldn't let Norris pass. Just how the jump started, um, Matt got a great jump on Oscar, and Oscar picked up, and then there was a gap between him and Norris, so they couldn't have Norris pass. And if they tried, that would have opened up the door for Clerk and others to get into the mix. So this is not. It's just not possible at the moment. And Max has now opened up a 2.5 gap on Oscar, and this is typical Max of getting track position and making gaps. No further investigation. Safety car infringement with Norris or an Albon. Right now, we've got Norris getting closer to Oscar, but haven't. Uh, they're not fighting yet. Norris hasn't gotten close enough for. Norris hasn't gotten close enough to pass Oscar. We're still got Leclerc and Albon fighting at the moment. Max now has taken the fastest lap, 118.214, and that's tire advantage right there. Max has nine laps on those hard tires, and Oscar 25. You'd expect Norris at some point pass Oscar because he's got the tire advantage by 15 laps. Hamilton getting past Russell right now, so that gets him into 6th place. This has not been a good day for Russell. He's lost 4 places overall today. Sainz is the other big loser, losing 2 places. Big winner right now in terms of places is Sonoda. He's up 10 places. Hulkenberg is up 6 places, though he is out of the points at the moment. But Sonoda started in pit lane start. He's now 10th with 7 laps to go. He is within DRS range of Sainz, so he could get past him. He's doing 3/10 faster. Here comes Hamilton. That's the pass on Albon. Live. There we go. Yeah, the gap between Norris and Oscar has been about 6/10. I don't know why it's safe to make that change now. Should be that safe to make that change now, but it's not happening. Max has now jumped up 4.1 seconds. So that I think that uh what the heck what happened with McLaren? Here comes okay, so Lando's now passing Oscar. So now has put 5 seconds ahead. Max is 5.1 seconds ahead of Lando. Lando's P2 at the moment. So that pass should have happened. I'm not sure why the pass is happening now. That should have happened like 2 laps ago when things stabilized. Not a great day for Oscar. He's down 2 places after starting the race. Again, Max did a dive bomb on him at the lap 1, and then built the lead like he usually does. This is typical Max from 2 years ago, early last year when he was dominant. This has been a dominant textbook Max Verstappen race. What? Even passing, nor Oscar did not really give him a lot of room, or, or didn't back off as he probably should have. Oscar's now fallen back a little bit. The gap right now is 5.5 to Norris, 7.5 to Oscar, 9.3 to Leclerc, and Albon is 9.9. Hamilton is 11 seconds back from Max. So those are the gaps. Small DS train with Leclerc, Albon, and Hamilton right now. Sainz is in range of Russell. And then we've got Hulkenberg passing Alonso passing Hulkenberg for 11th. He is within range to potentially catch Sonoda. And he has a tire advantage. He's got 10 laps. Is it 10? Definitely is 10. He's got at least 10 laps advantage, both on mediums on Sonoda. He should catch him. He's doing did 2/10 faster than that last lap. Max did a 1:18.037 last lap. That's 4/10 faster than Norris, and a second and a half faster than Oscar. Leclerc did a 1:20.139. That's 2 seconds faster than Leclerc. And Albon just passed Leclerc for P4. Bit of fight. Oh, Albon has to go off the line. Hamilton's going to go past. So that forced Albon tried to make the pass, couldn't make it, goes off track, goes through goes through the gravel, and that allows Hamilton to pass Albon for P5. So this is actually a good day for Ferrari, despite being 4th and 5th behind McLaren. If they weren't Ferrari, this would be a great day. But because they're Ferrari, this is a midday for them. We expect them to be better and do better. And yeah, ultimately, Albon was almost pushed off track. Oh, it's going to be interesting. I wonder if the I don't think Albon got ahead of. I don't think Albon was ahead of Leclerc at any point, and that ultimately, therefore, doesn't have to give him the room to pass, or doesn't have to give him the room because I think Albon was always behind Leclerc. It'll be interesting if the Leclerc forcing another driver off the track. Noted. So they're looking at it in terms of Leclerc forcing Albon off the track. With that said, Hamilton has gone ahead of Leclerc. That's a big jump, and he's not advancing on Oscar. He's one. So last lap, Oscar did a 19.48, and Hamilton did a 19.88. So that's a 4/10 difference between those two at the moment. We'll see if the gap changes. Hamilton just did a fastest first sector, 7/10 faster than Oscar, 2/10 faster in sector 2. So he is gaining on him. The gap is now 2.5 seconds, 2.4 seconds. So we're looking at Hamilton potentially maybe gaining on Oscar. Is it going to be enough time? There's only 2 laps left. We're at lap 62 of 63, and yeah, they're just starting. Max just started lap 62. So there's 2 laps left. Will Hamilton be able to catch Oscar is the better question. Gap is now 2 seconds. Hamilton improved into sector 3 by 6/10.
see how sector 1 goes. Oscar did 25.1. So it's a push basically in sector 1 right now between the Oscar and Hamilton. Gap right now is still 2 seconds. Got a fight with Leclerc and Albon right now. Albon's only 0.3 seconds behind. Hamilton has lost a tenth right now. He's not advancing on Oscar. That's not what we need. He really needs to advance on him. Hamilton has a 16 lap advantage on Oscar. Should be pressing that. Hamilton improved his lap time. Still no difference in time through sector 2. That's disappointing, to be quite honest. Gap, half a second improvement in sector 3. So it's 1.6. We're on the final lap. Forcing out of track. This is the Clerk Albon incident. It's under investigation. So we'll maybe something going on after that. Albon has now passed Leclerc. So he's gained back one of the positions, the position he lost to Hamilton. So Leclerc has dropped back 2 positions, ultimately. We'll see if this is a moot point now that Albon's ahead of Leclerc. But that incident pushed him back behind where Hamilton was, 2 places back. So he's actually lost. So if he's back where he was, but he's now 4 seconds behind Hamilton. That's not Hamilton's fault in this case. So we'll see how Stewart's rule. Again, right now our podium is Max, Norris, Oscar, with Hamilton 1.4 back. Yeah, he's not getting there. And here comes Max Verstappen. He's going to take the win here. So Max Verstappen has won the Grand Prix. Norris has come in second. Oscar's going to take third. Hamilton's going to be 1.4 seconds back for P4. So Hamilton outside of the podium. Albon P5. Leclerc P6. Russell P7. Sainz 8th. Isaac 9th. Tsunoda takes 10th. Alonso 11th. And that's going to be our top 10. Alonso, Hulkenberg, Gasly, Lawson, Stroll, Colpiano, Behrman, and then finally Bortoletto. So we have all crossed the line now. Win for Red Bull. Big win this is a big win. I would say this is a big win for Red Bull. For Max at least. This is gonna keeps him in contention with Norris and Oscar. I'm not sure where the points stand at the moment. Big day for Ferrari. They have up several places, both of them. Hamilton 4th, Leclerc 6th. Albon is a good day. He's up 3 places. Not a great day for Russell. He started better. He started 4th. He finished he started 3rd. He finished 7th. He's down 4 places. His teammate didn't finish, so for Mercedes, this is not a great day. Sainz is only down 2 positions, which is not that big of a deal, but it's still a good day for Williams being double in the points, started in the points. Isaac started 9th, finished 9th. And then a big day for Red Bull as well, because Tsunoda started outside of the points. The fact that he has picked up a point on the recovery drive, that's a massive drive for him. Now, having said this, we shouldn't. The issue that we're going to deal with is that ultimately we're dealing with this. So the stewards have actually done no action on the forcing off the track. And I think because Albon got ahead of Leclerc, I think that made it a moot point. I think we have nothing else to have to deal with in terms of steward action. So I think this is what our board's going to look like ultimately when it's certified. Again, you've been listening to the Race YouTube channel. Max Verstappen has won in Imola. McLaren has done a 2-2-3. Ferrari's done a 5-6. Williams has done a 5-8. Russell dropped 4 places to finish 7th. Isaac finished where he started 9th. And Tsunoda started pit lane, P20, and has finished 10th, taking up a point. Now, it's Red Bull. We were expecting Tsunoda to do better than 10th. But for at least right now, having started in pit lane, P20, and finished 10th, that's that for any driver, that's a good hard day of work. Now, we expect better out of Yuki. He should be qualifying better. But that's another discussion for another time. I want to thank everyone who was here, everyone who was on YouTube, everyone who's been here on Twitch. If you were watching us on another platform, thank you as well. If you're watching this after the fact, thank you for that as well. This is going to bring our coverage for Imola. You will see us this Friday, where we do FP1 for Monaco. This is coming into the crown jewel weekend of motorsports. For those who are motorsports crazy like I am, we have later today. We have the day 2 of qualifying for the Indianapolis 500. There's 4 drivers. One of them is going to get bumped. So the last chance qualification is going to take place, and then qualification for the pole. So top 12 places will be set today as well at Indianapolis, and that will be setting the race for next weekend. Again, Friday we will have basically practice 1, practice 2, Saturday practice 3, and then quali for the Monaco Grand Prix on next Sunday. And then next week we'll have Monaco, we'll have the Indianapolis 500. Some of you, there's the NASCAR. I'm blanking where it is. It's a 600. It's a Coke 600. Kyle Lawson right now is in contention to do both the Indianapolis 500 and the 600. So he could be doing the double duty. So a lot more going on than just F1. So if you guys are curious, that's definitely stuff to keep an eye on. If you're curious, come join us in Discord. We'll be talking about all of that over this weekend, end of this weekend, and across the week. If you are interested, we have a new website, which is the racingstatisticsf1.com. So shortly after this race, the boss is going to get information up there about tires and ideal laps and other data. And he's also started a Patreon. So if you want to help us support the channel beyond just joining here on Twitch or joining on YouTube, there's a Patreon. I don't know. I haven't looked at it, and I haven't looked at what the perks are just yet. But I know there's stuff there for you. Again, this is Grash. I have been your commentator for today's race. I want to thank everyone who's come. We will see you next weekend for Monaco. Take care, everyone. We will see you soon.